I can hear you. I don't show anything on the site yet. Fantastic. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Gunslinger bringing you some ONS live on EGLN TV. I'm joined by Captain Howdy on camera, who's going to be doing a little commentating. Tonight we have another matchup between Pub Heroes and Battlegear Gaming for the #1 slot on the TWL ladder. This match happened earlier this month, and it was an incredible match. Although we didn't get to broadcast it, the match went all 3 maps to the tiebreaker and was close all the way. The key benchmark of the Pub Heroes team is they start off a little slow in their maps. They tend to get about halfway through. They start off a little down, and ultimately what ends up happening is they come back and often secure the map within moments of an overtime win or loss. So it's going to be a very exciting match for the #1 slot on TWL tonight. Thank you all for joining, and thank you to all of EGLN TV sponsors for making this possible. Absolutely, they've got a lot of veteran players who have come together, used to be on other teams, and as the ONS community has consolidated, they've come together on these two great teams. So it stands to be a very exciting match. I'm really looking forward to it, and we're about ready to get underway. It looks like starting for Battlegear Gaming, we have Mega, X-Cannon, Black Vendetta, Cashel, Psycho Smurf, and Doom Omen. For the Pub Heroes, we have North Star, Hawk Tape, Scoob, NNY, and Gummy God. Looks like we're still waiting on one more of the Pub Heroes, and then we'll be ready to get going. I think definitely a powerhouse addition, and that will make the game even closer than it has been in the past. And I think that's what makes this kind of lineup extremely exciting, when you get two really closely matched teams, when you have maps going back and forth, particularly like Dawn, which is a fairly well-balanced map. You've got two lines of nodes going from each core. Controlling the middle becomes extremely important, and making sure that your strong loadout nodes like Node 6 and Node 5, that those stay up and running for each team, so that they can get their Raptors and tanks into the action. But no doubt this is going to be a lot of fun. It'll be interesting to see whether or not Battlegear Gaming can get their revenge on Pub Heroes that sort of came from nowhere a couple of months ago and has taken the #1 slot. So looks like we have our final player in the server, which means we should be ready to go anytime. But as I say, this is a very exciting matchup. As we all know, obviously the point is to drive to the core and take it down in regulation if you can. I would argue that with these two teams, there's almost certainty that we're going to run into overtime on this map, because they're so closely matched, and because this is such a balanced map. I know that, as I said before, Pub Heroes has this unerring ability to allow any competitive clan or team in ONS to push forward and appear to have the advantage and come right back and take it all the way to the core. So watch for that swing in gameplay. It's almost as if about halfway through the match, they sort of shake themselves off and say, oh, we probably need to win this. Let's go out and do it. And it looks like folks are starting to ready up. So we're almost ready to get underway. I think the thing that I like the most about Dawn is, again, the balance. You've got a lot of vehicle loadout. It can be a very fast game with Mantas and Raptors, driving riders into the middle and controlling those two nodes, 1 and 4, which are so close together, as well as one with a lot of firepower. You can bring a couple of Goliath tanks to bear, and that certainly helps with the denial strategy if you want to control the middle that way. It'll be interesting to see how these two teams push. Obviously, in some ways, it's easier to push your strong side. For blue, that would be 5, 4, and 3 nodes to red core, and for red, that would be 6, 1, and 2, because you're playing to your strong side. But I think it'll be interesting to see. There are obviously very, very small differences. One side obviously has the target painter, which calls in the airstrike. A good team doesn't usually let that slow them down, but we'll be looking to see how these strategies unfold. Expect a very fast start. Ordinarily, teams often push to their strong side node, which in this case is 6 for red and 5 for blue, and get that built as quickly as possible, get those vehicles into play. But like I said, you're going to be seeing a lot of Manta work, and both of these teams are very strong with the Manta, so we're going to be zipping around the map a fair amount. And because action can go on all over this map, I'm sure Captain Howdy's going to do a great job of keeping us in the action, which is not an easy thing to do with this many nodes. So thanks a lot for your help with this, Captain, and I think we're all set to go. Absolutely. Doesn't look like there's a big ping difference between these two teams, and and I think they're just excited to be on TV. And after all, who wouldn't? I know I'm excited to be here, being the noob that I am, and a newcomer to EGLN. I've certainly enjoyed watching these broadcasts. And ONS is one of the great team sports. It's very, very fast. Things can change in a moment, and they certainly do with these two teams. Well, looks like people are no longer readying up. Probably that last minute, call the mom, girlfriend, wishing them luck, assuming that anyone has girlfriends, and certainly everyone on both of these teams knows this is going to be a tight race. Yeah, it's not often that you get in TWL two teams that are so closely matched. I have to say, I really did enjoy, even though we weren't able to broadcast it live, I really enjoyed watching these two teams the last time. And as I said, it is really incredible how the Pub Heroes are able to almost come from behind and win some of these matches. Even though they're very, very close, they really do seem to pull it together. And Battlegear tends to play a pretty tight game throughout. So we'll see how Pub Heroes come out again. If they stick true to form, and they're a little slow pulling the trigger from the beginning, and Battlegear Gaming gets into a position where they can score some points, and then they push back, or if they're going to come out strong right away, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this matchup, which I'm hoping will begin any moment. We look very, very close. And here we go. Alright, so it looks like Pub Heroes is going with a 3-man build-out on their core Manta, and they're going to roll out to 5. Looks like Battlegear Gaming has the advantage, at least on the primary build. They got their corner node up and running, but here we are, all even up. All the primary nodes are being built, and let's see what happens when we get into the middle. Absolutely, and that was the sort of slow start that we were talking about for Pub Heroes. They don't seem to quite pull the trigger as quickly as an experienced team like Battlegear Gaming, which is interesting because they all have a lot of experience, but it seems in past games they always just are a little slower off the call. But now we're all evened up, everybody's got their primes built and locked, and the battle for the middle begins. It looks like Battlegear Gaming has Raptor teams going in and doing some tank killing. And it also looks like Pub Heroes has a build going, self-build on node 4, and 1 isn't being hit. Now 4 is being tagged by a tank on the ridge, above 3, as well as a Raptor. So it looks like they're putting some pressure on 4. Doesn't look like they'll get the build on that, at least not right away. And now BG is going for pushing both nodes. They're going to have to do some work on the tanks, and it looks like they are self-building on 4. And it looks like they are trying to make a go at 1. 2 grounders duking it out, NNY and Mega. And they were able to force the... Absolutely. And it looks like Doom Owen is roaming in his Raptor looking for trouble. And looks like he's going to engage Pub Heroes tank in their base While at node 4, the node has gone down, and we still got a little back and forth in 1 and 4. It looks like BG has their tank up on the ridge above 1, and it's providing denial at 4. So BG is going to start pushing through 1, it looks like. They've got a pretty good build on it, whereas BG also has a grounder at 4 doing denial along with the tank, and they got 1 up. So 2 is now vulnerable. Let's see if they can bring any forces to bear against 2 before Pub Heroes is able to bring number 1 down. And it doesn't look like, yep, Pub Heroes won that race. But again, that's pretty true to form. In the last match we saw, certainly Pub Heroes tended to get more licks in on them, and BG was able to take advantage. So we'll be looking to see what Pub Heroes does as time continues to dwindle. Looks like both teams are making a lot of use of their Goliaths. Their tanks are both on the ridges and in the valleys. It looks like Pub Heroes is in their valley above 4, trying to provide denial, but those Raptor tank killing teams, when they're doubled up like that, 2-on-1, there are very few tanks that will last very long in that kind of environment. So again, it looks like all the play is in the middle. Battlegear has a fully loaded tank above 1, providing denial on 4, and they're trying to get that build on 1. So they're definitely pushing strong side if they can. They've got about 50% on node number 1, which is pretty good. But again, here comes Pub Hero and Manta, and on foot. They have managed to clip all of the people except the tank that are at node 1, and node 1 is going down. Meanwhile, on the other side, they've got a self-build. Pub Heroes has a self-build going on 4, and they got it up. So 3 is now vulnerable. Let's see how quickly they can convert that into some damage on node 3. BG still has their tank up. It just went down. They were able to get a couple of licks in on node number 4. Node number 4 looks like it's about 25%, but they're not hitting node 3, so that means they're probably not going to get it. And node 4 goes down. Yeah, absolutely. They've done a good job of suppressing Pub Heroes' attempts to try and get node 4 up. Both teams appear to be favoring their strong side, where they can get the maximum amount of Goliath attention and Raptor attention on it. But no strong pushes, although right now Pub Heroes is trying both sides. Both sides are now trying a weak side push. So Pub Heroes are trying to get 1 up and built, and it looks like BG is trying to get 4 up and built. And now BG has both tanks in play, both their core tank and their primary node tank. They have them both in play, and they're trying builds on both 1 and 4. Looks like they're going to try and do a distraction technique on 4 and get a build on 1, and they've got a strong build. They're going to get that up, and they have, which means 2 is now vulnerable. The question is whether... And they were able to do some great damage with that. Absolutely. They were able to do a very effective job. Although BG is not letting that node die. That's very impressive. And they got it. They got node number 2. And now BG is running interference and denial with 2 Goliaths on node number 4. Advantage is definitely currently to BG. Pub Heroes really needs to get back in the game. They need to get node number 4 up. They definitely need to get those tanks that are running denial on node 4. So it looks like we have someone on the ridge above node 4, you with an LG trying to run denial from BG. Yep, Cashel was up there. He was denying 4 so that Pub Heroes can't get into this game and unlock node number 1. And at node number 2 right now, we've got both of the Raptor pilots jumping out of the Raptor. Okay, we got 2 grounders at number 2, plus a Raptor pilot roaming. They got a 25% build, 50% build. Here comes NNY from Pub Heroes. He's pushing pretty hard on that node, trying to deny them. And it's a one-on... And they managed to do... Pub Heroes did a great job of cutting them off. They managed to cut them off right in the middle. And it looks like, yep, BG is building one back up again. And it looks like node number 4 is not going to have a chance to build. They've got one grounder there. They're building it. They've got some tank coverage. And now they're trying to run denial on 1. So it's all close up again. No licks in on the core. And 2 is under attack. Pub Heroes are getting pressure again on their weak side, as well as at node number 4. There are 3 Manta drivers, 2 Mantas, 2 grounders. They're pushing it. It's going down. They're going to lose node number 4. Meanwhile, at node number 1, it looks like we're at about 25%. And they've got a Hellbender doing some denial on BG's node number 1. Mega's there giving a bit of a build. He's got a Hellbender to deal with, but he got some help from a Raptor pilot, and he managed to take out the Hellbender. So that node now is about 25% on the 1 side, and they've got a push on the number 4 side as well. That one's at about 50%, but it's getting hit from our dear friend Hawktape. And he's going to manage to take 4 down. He got some support from Goliath there. And the middle is neutral territory again. So we're all even again. Doesn't look like they got too many licks in on the core. So as I said before, this is a close match once again. We're all even. Absolutely. With a 2-minute mark just being passed, node control becomes more important than ever. Because these teams are so closely matched, it'll be interesting to see whether either one of them can get the core up. And then really it becomes about controlling those center nodes, whether you're able to get one of them up and put denial on the other, or whether or not you're able to push all the way to the core. As I say, BG had the chance to get into the core. They weren't able to get any licks on it. Not surprising, considering the strength of both of the teams. But as time begins to wind down, you have to ask yourself, at what point am I able to control as many nodes as possible? And it really comes down to being able to control 1 and 4. Because as that core drains, you really need to have control over those nodes. Obviously, if you were in a down position, you'd want to push all the way to the core. We'll see whether or not both of these teams go into a denial and node building mode. And it looks like BG got one up. But they got a lot of pressure on that node. It's going to go down very quickly. They were able to get some hits on node number 2, but it wasn't enough to take the node down. Node number 4 is at 75%. That one's going live. No pressure on it right now. And Pub Heroes has a chance to hit number 3, and they are hitting number 3 right now. They are hitting it hard with a tank. Scoob is sitting there and nailing that thing. And BG has lost their number 3 node. Now they've got a grounder and a tank there, and it looks like BG is bringing their Raptor as well as their core tank to bear. And with 20 seconds left in the game, absolutely, you're absolutely right. Right now, Pub Heroes controls 3 of the 6 nodes. That's enough to win a game. If they can hold denial on 1 and denial on 3, that's all they need to do to win this game. So let's see how they go about doing that. BG's not going to give them a chance. They're not going to make it easy. They're at 75% on node number 1, but they're getting viciously attacked. That node is now down to 50%. 1 grounder is all it takes to deny that node. At the same time, they're able to put some pressure on number 3, and BG managed to get number 4 down. So it's a very close match right now, very close. Blue or Pub Heroes is slightly ahead. If you're watching the core counter down at 96 and 95 now, it's going to be a very, very close match. Advantage is BG right now. They have more nodes up. The question is, can they hold it to get ahead? And it looks like they are ahead in the core drain, just barely. So again, this one could go either way. Pub Heroes, they lost it. They lost it. They lost that side node. It went all the way down. Yep, they're definitely disappointed, and there is a grounder, Doom Omen, all on his own. Oh, now he's got some resistance. There he is. But he had a good build going, and now they are swarming around node number 2. They are making a battle out of it. Meanwhile, node number 4 is self-building. Doesn't appear to have much resistance, and it's up. Now, how much force can BG bring to bear? A lot. They got a Raptor, a Manta, and a tank all driving node number 4 down. Can they get it down before Pub Heroes gets one? Yes, they can. So Battlegear Gaming is still dominating this overtime score. If you look at the cores, BG is at 86, Pub Heroes is at 81. This is going to be a slow drain. Again, they're going to keep fighting for that middle. This match is by no means over, but the advantage is currently to BG. And as we said before, we expected this match to be close. And we knew it was going to happen, and it was definitely a close match. I can't say that there was a distinct difference in play between Pub Heroes this time that I saw on the first map. But, yeah, it looks pretty tight. And now we've got both sides building on their strong side middle node. We've got BG building 1, and Pub Heroes, excuse me, nope, they're both down. It doesn't matter. They're not going to get a build on it. And again, absolutely. It is absolutely anybody's game. You're right, and I think that you know, the key to winning this is, as you can see, neither team is backing off at all in OT. It is still only a 4 or 5 point game, so it could go either way. So here we have it. They've got node number 2 they're working on. Pub Heroes is trying to bring both middle nodes up. They've got one grounder at 1, and they're so close on number 4, but they weren't able to follow through and finish it. It was just seconds away from going up. Now it's down to 75%. Looked like they were going to make a go at it. And now we've got a 1v1 North Star and his Raptor, as well as a grounder at node number 4 for Battlegear Gaming. Mega was just obliterated by a tank. And so node number 4 is self-building. It's self-building up. It's almost at 100%. And here come the Raptor teams. Raptor and Manta, they're doing a great job of getting into the game quickly and really driving those nodes down. So BG is still controlling the map very well, doing their denial work as they have to. Pub Heroes has had a good push in the middle, but right now it looks like the node number 4 is going down. There don't appear to be too many people building. We've got a tank from Pub Heroes at 1 and a tank from Pub Heroes at 4. So it looks like they're bringing in the heavy artillery, going for sheer brute strength in the middle nodes over rapid response. Whereas it looks like BG has their Raptors in play. They're continuing to try and focus on those nodes. And it looks like Broody is moving over to node 1. Excuse me, node 4, and they've got to build, and node 4 is up. So now how quickly can they convert a node 4 build into taking node number 3 down? Well, while node number 1 is self-building, BG is putting a lot of pressure on node number 4. It's at 25%. That bad boy is going down. Oh no, they didn't quite get it. They managed to lock down node number 3 and lock out node number 4. Advantage Pub Heroes. They now have control of 4 nodes whereas BG only has control of 1. This is classic Pub Heroes, where they come from behind, they're at a distinct disadvantage, and this is a much closer game, 49-47, and that gap is closing every single second. It looks like Pub Heroes is more or less ignoring node number 1, making sure BG does not get a build with 2 Mantas at node number 1, and they're going to light it up anyway. So what they're doing is they're releasing control of node number 3 to BG, just running a little denial on node number 3, and trying to get a build on node number 1. If Pub Heroes is able, they will try to deny BG both node number 1 and node number 3. That's all they have to do to win the game. At this point, advantages to BG, but that's about to change. With the next tick of the core, Pub Heroes takes the lead. So as you can see, the only goal that Pub Heroes should have right now is they need denial on 3 and denial on 1. If they have to make a choice, probably easier to deny node number 1, but it looks like they've got the resources in place to deny both. If that stays the case, they're going to win this game. So what's happening at node number 3 right now is Booty is making sure that he charges that node up enough, touch and go, so that Battlegear Gaming has to pay attention to him. Now we've got 2 Mantas at node number 3 and no BG, which means they're going to go for it. They're going to make a build. Right now we've got Scuba Northstar. They're doing a build. They're at 25%. They're at 50%. They're at 75%. I see inbound tanks and Raptors. The core is vulnerable. Here they go. They're going to make a push on it. They are going to elect to ignore the tank and get some licks in while they can. Smart move, in my opinion. That's all right. They got the licks in when they needed it. They are now almost 10 points ahead. And this, again, is classic Pub Heroes. They're down. They have a disadvantage. They play under a disadvantage for most of the match. And right at the end, they manage to push it all the way out. This game is still not over, but it's a lot more in Pub Heroes' favor than it was before. So an impressive move. BG has a build on node number 3, and they got it up. So that gives them some decrease in the decline of their core. But the truth is, unless they can get 4 and 1 down and get a build up, they're going to be in real trouble. And in fact, they're running out of time, and they're running out of core points. So it looks like Pub Heroes could take this. It would have to be a miraculous push for BG to take this one in overtime. They will certainly have a chance in the next map, and they're certainly not giving up now. But I'm not sure there's enough core points left on this bad boy. You've got 2 of the Pub Heroes and 2 of the BGs at node 4, duking it out. They're trying to get their their weak side node up. They're getting a lot of resistance from Pub Heroes. Gummy God is camping on one of the boulders and knocking people out. We've got Black Vendetta and Doom Omen doing a build on number 4. They're building hard and fast. They're at 50%. They're at 75. They're getting some LG interference and a Raptor. They almost got it up. They didn't quite finish the build, and they won't get it. Gummy God was able to come in, run some resistance in his Raptor. He's bailing out of that to provide some grounding resistance. And up on the cliff, we had Hawk Tape, who was able to run enough link down there just so they couldn't get it up. They were so close, and they couldn't get it up. And that denial probably cost them that node, and ultimately cost them a chance to get back in the game. It looks like Pub Heroes continues to apply pressure with Goliath. We got both teams applying Goliath into the center now. And I think with 4 points left on Red's core and 15 left on Pub Heroes is going to take this match. Unbelievable comeback. But again, classic Pub Heroes. You never, ever want to count them out, no matter how close you are to the end of a match. And that was some really impressive work. And there's another airstrike just to finish things off. Well, I have to say, another really good game. Very evenly matched scores, extremely well done. I was just happy to be here for this match. No question in my mind that the next round of this map is going to be exactly the same. Very, very close. Strong skill sets from both teams. And boy, oh boy, this is a fun matchup to watch. You notice that, of course, Pub Heroes only has 11 points left on their core. and that is classic Pub Heroes. They were down only by a few points, to be fair, but they were down nonetheless. In overtime, right at the end, they were able to control the nodes. And as I say, while these two teams have matched up before, this is not unique to the two of them playing each other. Pub Heroes has, even with my ONS team, Dow, we experienced the same thing in all the maps we played on them. Every single time we were able to get an advantage, they always came back and were able to drive us either all the way back to the core or capture enough nodes to force the overtime win. And my impression is that that's what they do, and they do it extremely well. I'm going to take a brief pause. You have a look around the map. We're going to switch up colors here. So we've got Battlegear Gaming on blue, Pub Heroes on red, and we'll be ready to get underway in just a minute. That's right, don't adjust your sound. Your speakers are working. I just took a drink. So exciting. This match is an incredible match to watch. It's everything that a broadcaster could wish for. It's a fast-moving map. There's both hard strategy that wins this map, and there's a lot of skill. Individual one-on-one DM going on in the middle of the map, as well as strong vehicular use. So the question is whether or not BG is able to have a look at what happened in the last map right towards the end of the match that swung in Pub Heroes' favor and make some adjustments. And I think they're a smart team. They play very well together. They've got a lot of hardcore players. They will almost certainly make the adjustments they need to come back and win the next round. Again, teams are very closely matched. It could go either way. I'm just excited to be a part of this. And EGLN is proud to bring it to you. We're moments away from readying up. Many of these players have played against and with each other for years, and that's very obvious by some of the comments that come across in channel chat. So we're off and running to the races. Again, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a similar start. Doesn't look like anybody's going to run denial at primary node. BG is going with a 4-man Manta run. They have dropped 2 folks at their prime node. I don't see anybody running denial. And here comes Northstar from Pub Heroes running denial on BG's node number 5. They've got some good looks on him. He's out of his Raptor and on the ground. He was able to kill one of the builders. They still don't have a build up. He's still pushing through, but they got node number 5 up. We're all even. Northstar is still alive, on foot. Brought the BG tank down to about 50%, so he was able to do some good damage there, just distract and slow them down. And as you can see, Pub Heroes has node number 1 being built. They got some Hellbender coverage there at node number 1, and that is giving them a slight advantage. Yeah, look at that. Putting some taps on some fools. Broody sitting in that Hellbender, sniping people with his Hellbender twin beams. Very impressive work. High level of accuracy. Boom, they get node number 1 up, which means node number 2 is ripe for the pickin'. The question is, how quickly can they capitalize on that unbelievably quick advantage? And it looks like not very fast. Absolutely, we've got BG putting pressure on 1. No points in on node number 2, so it looks like they're going to hold on to it. The battle continues to be in the middle. They're trying to keep that node alive, though. They've got 100% build. That is impressive work. And no pressure from our dear friends at BG. We've got a tank in the far ridge that's trying to put pressure on it, but really nothing. They've got 100% build. Both teams are pushing the weak side node. Blue is pushing 3. Red is pushing 2. Let's see who wins the race. A lot of pressure. Unbelievable. Advantage to BG. So here's the position that they're in. They control 2. They control 5. They control 4, which is locked. And they are about to control node number 3. Let's see what kind of defense Pub Heroes can put up at 3. Right now we've got 2 Mantas and a Grounder. Manta drivers are popping out. They had some Raptor interference, but not so much. BG is going to go for a quick kill. We've got 2 builders and 1 defender. Here comes the Raptor. They're almost at 100%. Now they have to take the question of taking out Scoob, or do they build the node? Everybody elected to try to take out Scoob. They're going to try to build. They have the core. Now here's the question. In the meantime, Pub Heroes managed to get node number 1 up. How fast can they bring node number 4 down? They're getting some licks in on the core. Not too many. Both of those blue nodes look like they're going down. Core's at 90%. So that was a nice job by BG, able to get in some core licks right away, right at the start of the match. Start out with an advantage. They have a 9-point advantage on the core over our friends from Pub Heroes. Pub Heroes did a very good job of bringing down both their primary node, which BG controlled, as well as the center node, down and back under their control. So while the nodes are more or less all even up, oh no, not so. They managed to control 4 and keep 4 up. So it looks like 3 is exposed again, 1 is exposed again. Can BG convert that into some serious damage for Pub Heroes? I think the answer is almost certainly yes. So they got some pressure on node 3, not too much, and Pub Heroes are able to get down node number 4, and node number 1 is down, so we're all even on node count. North Star's fooling around with Psycho Smurf. Psycho manages to take him down in his Manta with an LG shot. Nice job. So we're duking it out in the middle right now. A lot of grounders, not too many vehicles. The Raptor killing teams are in the middle for Battlegear. And Battlegear... Nope, no clear advantage right here in the middle right now. A lot of frags taking place. A lot of body parts flying all over the map. And it looks like Pub Heroes are having a crack at node number 4. Scoob is doing a build on it. He's doing an excellent job. He's at 75%. He almost got it, but they brought both of their Raptor team members in there, as well as their core tank, to apply pressure to 4, and 4 is going down hard and fast. Doom Moment was just taken out by a couple of light LG shots, as well as an Avril. And again, the battle for the middle continues. Looks like both teams have tanks on their strong sides, in position to do denial on the middle. Both teams trying to get their strong side node up. Battlegear has their node at about 75% doing a self-build, and they're applying a great amount of pressure to node number 1 for Pub Heroes. And they got it up. Node number 4 is up. Node number 3 is exposed. Let's see what kind of damage our dear friends at BG can do. And they're pushing hard on it. They're pushing hard, and they've got a full build at node number 4, which means they have a lot of room to move. Pub Heroes is now bringing pressure, and they got it. They managed to get node number 3 down, which temporarily locked out node number 4, but Pub Heroes managed to get node number 1 up, which meant that node number 4 became unlocked, and they're going to get node number 4 down. So Battlegear Gaming has done an excellent job of not only getting their node number 4 up, but getting node number 3 down quickly. That will serve them well. Although it looks like Pub Heroes is a strong build on node number 4, and here comes the tank. Able to get denial before the node came up. And in the meantime, look who's putting some pressure on node number 2. Unbelievable. Here come Pub Heroes. They managed to get it down. They got a 2-Manta team taking down the core tank. And he was able to get out before he died. So we've got X-Cannon on foot, and he was just killed by Broody. The question is, look at this dominant position that Pub Heroes is in. They have a shot to take a couple of cracks at Battlegear's core. We're at the 5-minute warning. They've got a 50% build, 75% build on node number 2. And it's 2v2. It's 3v2 in BG's favor. Battlegear has a Raptor, a couple of grounders, and there's nobody left at node number 2, which means Battlegear is going to get it down and be able to do a build. So that was a close one. Looked like Pub Hero was going to pull a classic one, but there's plenty of time in overtime for them to do it again. And here they are. They're bringing in some Manta action to put some pressure, more pressure on 2. In the meantime, in the middle of the map, you've got NNY doing a build solo while his other players are defending him, and he's going to get a build on 4. He got 4. Now the question is, if you can take down a team's strong side node, in this case it's the 5 node, if you can take that node down, you deny them extremely important vehicles. Their denial tank and their Raptor. Both of those vehicles are extremely important to closing out a game. And if you can get that node down, it's a huge advantage. Even if you don't get that node down, which they didn't, they weren't able to put any pressure on it, what it means is that Battlegear has to apply pressure and split their resources. And as you see, in the meantime, Pub Heroes was able to get node number 2 down and get a node build going. NNY is at 75% on that node build. He's got some flack from Mega. Mega's working on the Raptor. On the Manta. Do Moment is in the Raptor. NNY manages to get into his Raptor, fire off a shot just to keep him occupied, and he gets taken down. So it looks like Pub Hero's node at 2 is still self-building at 25% and growing. A random tank shot managed to alleviate the pressure, and there it is on the ridge. Do Moment is trying to put him down. Dies instead. Broodly is up there trying to build his tank up with Link. Unbelievable. Here they go. Coming from behind. 3 minutes left in the game. And look who is controlling the map. Pub Heroes is running denial with a tank on 2. Broodly was able to get out of the tank and was squished by a Manta. Yummy! So right now, advantage to Pub Heroes. They control 6, 3, 1. They're doing builds at 4 and 2. Now the build at node number 2 is under pressure. So what that means is Battlegear has to get into the game. They have to get a build on node number 4. That's extremely important. North Stars at node number 4 from Pub Heroes, and he is doing a build with Hawk Tape. So that means with 3 people at node number 4, they're going to have a hard time. Booyah, I say it, and there comes the tank running denial. But it wasn't enough for the 2 Manta team. As a result, 4 looks like it's going to get completed by Gummy God, and it is. PH controls this map. Pub Heroes has both middle nodes. They are applying pressure to both node number 5, the primary, and node number 2. This is going to be a struggle. Battlegear's got to get those middle nodes down. I don't believe it. They lost their strong side node. Node number 5 is down. Even though they still control node number 2, node number 5 is an extremely important node, and the core is vulnerable. They got to build on it. They got to complete. They're bringing those vehicles to bear. Mantas and Raptors are inbound to the core, and they are attacking the core vigorously. We've got a grounder, 2 Raptors, and a Manta. It's down to 60%, 50%. This is going to be close. In the meantime, Battlegear is building node number 1, trying to cut off the node, and they managed to get a lock. But oh my gosh, what damage. That is unbelievable. With a minute left in the game, blue core down to 36. This is going to be tough. Battlegear has a clear disadvantage going into overtime. They will really need to push all the way through the core for Pub Heroes in order to take this match. Unbelievable. Pub Heroes still controls the middle 2 nodes. They're doing builds on both of those. Really, at this point, all they need to do is run denial. But it looks like they're going to have a crack at doing some building. 30 seconds left. And they got node number 1 up. Node number 2 is vulnerable. BG is coming in and putting some serious pressure on it. Looks like they're going to get it down before node number 2 falls. They were successful. So they protected node number 2, which is extremely important right now in overtime as the cores begin to drain. They have to get 4 up, and they have to get 1 up. They have to push all the way through. So it looks like they're going to allow their weak side node to self-build, node number 1, and they got node number 4 up. Node number 4 is up, node number 3 is vulnerable. So now they got the question of whether or not they can get node number 3 down before the tank, the 2 grounders, are able to bring node number 4, and they did it! Unbelievable, they got node number 3 down. Now they need to do 2 things. They need to deny it 1, and they need to do that strongly, and they need to control node number 3 and get it built. But they're not doing any denial at node number 1. And node number 4 is not at 100%. It needs 2 tank shots, and it's going to go down. 1 tank shot. Here comes number 2. Oh, he missed! He missed! And it's down. So node number 3 is now isolated, which means they get no crack at the core. And as you can see from the core drain, distinct advantage to Pub Heroes. This continues to be an unbelievable match. It's not over, but it's looking awfully tough for Battlegear, to come back and win. So right now, control of the map actually belongs to Battlegear. They have 2 nodes, whereas Pub Heroes only has 1 that is at 100%. I don't know that that's going to matter, considering the core losses that Battlegear has suffered. They've got a 3-man build on node number 4. They're going to push this one hard. Oh, but there is some serious tank denial being brought to bear by Northstar. He's got a builder in the form of Hawk Tape. They're putting enormous pressure on node number 4. Doesn't look like they're going to get it up. Not a chance. NNY and Scoob are not going to let that node come up. Even with a Raptor and a tank inbound, it's not enough to bring that node up. We're down to 72 on red core, 19 on blue core. The nodes, all they have to do, all Pub Heroes has to do is hold on. And it looks like they're not even going to bother holding on. They're going to go for the win, for the dagger in the heart. Node number 1 is up, which means time to have a crack at node number 2, which they are doing. Northstar's rolling in with a Raptor. He's putting some pressure on it. It's down to about 50%. There's nobody there. And now Broodley comes to join him. They got it down. They got a 2-man build going. I don't see anyone from Battlegear. Oh, here comes their tank. They're rolling their base tank in. They don't see it coming yet. Here it comes. Booyah! Down to 50% on that node. Oh, Eagle Eye on the Raptor. Unbelievable work in that tank. X-Cannon is doing an excellent job of providing the defense for that node. Unfortunately, the node is still self-building, and they are at such a disadvantage, it's not going to matter. Pub Heroes is going to take this match. They are now in the process of controlling 5 of the 6 nodes. It's not going to be enough. Incredible work from both teams. Pub Heroes came out strong, and they were able to dominate. Getting your licks in on the core at Dawn is unusual. Both teams managed to do it, which is very impressive, and Pub Heroes was able to overwhelm. They win in overtime. Excellent work, both teams, and another incredible match. So, unexpectedly, Pub Heroes takes both rounds of Dawn. They're a very, very good team. They're very, very closely matched. I am impressed. I expected a back and forth on the first map, but again, all it takes is a couple of people in one part of the map and the other team pushing on another part of the map, and all of a sudden the pendulum swings heavily in your favor. So, we now go to the pub favorite, demo favorite for UTONS, Torlin, the original. On this map, you have a couple of choices. Center push, or you go with the side push. Obviously, there are advantages to both. The middle node, you want to try and control at some level, because DD is there. DD can make a difference, especially when Prime is vulnerable, to taking that one down. On the other hand, a lot of teams have taken to denying center and doing the side push. It'll be interesting to see which way each of these teams goes. In any event, almost every ONS player is extremely familiar with this map. Love it or hate it, it's been around forever and it's been played a lot. So whether you play competitively, casually, or whether you're a demo server noob, does not matter. You know this map, love it or hate it, you know it well. So it'll be interesting to see where these teams go. I look forward to another exciting map. Now, the obvious distinction between this map and Dawn is there's a single primary node. As a result, on this map, unlike Dawn, when the primary node goes down, it is rare, unusual. I don't want to say impossible, but pretty close to it to get your prime back. Generally speaking, it takes one of two things once your prime is down to win this map. Either the teams are unmatched, or you end up getting all of your players in the wrong place at the wrong time, and the other team gets all of their players at prime and able to build right away. So again, if your prime node goes down, if in this case Pub Heroes node number 2 goes down, very difficult to recover from that, almost impossible. Again, Battlegear, if their node number 4 goes down, almost impossible. So what we're going to see is a lot of action in the middle at node number 3, where double damage is, on the ridge above node number 3, where there's a lot of coverage of every node on the map, as well as the side nodes, where you have both fast movers in the form of mantas, as well as tanks that can bring to bear some heavy firepower. One of the strategies that is not unpopular is to take the tank from your side node, in this case nodes number 1 or node number 5, and roll that tag into the center, node number 3, and run denial on node number 3 as you're doing a side push. That's a popular strategy. We'll see if either of the teams employs it today. One of the things that's important about this map is flexibility. You need to know what your enemy's going to do, and it looks like we're going to get started, so we'll get a chance to see. These two exciting teams with a lot of really good players, and we're off to the races. On the red side, Pub Heroes is rolling out with a 4-man levy load and a 1-man Hellbender load. Hellbender looks like it's set up on the ridge above 3 to provide denial, and it is. Broody has moved his Hellbender into position to provide denial in the middle. But it looks like, in spite of that, Battlegear has a guy in the middle, and they're going to go for it. They now control double damage, and they have a Hellbender in the middle. They are doing a build on node number 3. Pub Heroes was ahead, and they managed to get node number 1 up, which means node number 5 is vulnerable. They've got a 2-man build in the middle at 75%, now 50%, so that denial is going very well. And then while rolls through there in a Manta, tries to give somebody a haircut, doesn't quite do it, he'll be back, I'm sure. Now at the moment, it looks like Battlegear Gaming is trying to get a build, and they got nobody left in the middle. They're down at 50%. In the meantime, Pub Heroes is pushing node number 5. They managed to get node number 5 almost down. It's down. So advantage to Pub Heroes, except that X-Cannon is all by himself with Cashel now at node 5. They're going to get a build going, but here comes a Manta. Scoob gives a couple of folks some haircuts. I don't think they appreciated that. He got a mouthful of Avril, but he managed to get out in time, which means Black Vendetta and Scoob are going to go at it. But Scoob got some backup from North Star and the Raptor at node number 5. At the moment, somebody's prime is vulnerable. Classic Pub Heroes. Their prime was vulnerable. They got a couple licks on it. Good job, Battlegear. Doesn't slow them down. And look where we are now. Battlegear has 1 node, 4. At this point, here's what's happening. There are a couple of things that are extremely key. with only the core vehicles and the prime vehicles. What that means is their vehicle loadout is very, very light. They're going to have to give a lot of rides. They're going to have to get their players into the game. Doesn't look like they're going to have a chance. Gummy God is in a tank. He put 2 shots in on their prime node, and down goes node number 4. This is a do or die for Battlegear Gaming. It's going to be very hard to come back from this, I'll be honest with you. So here we are at 9 minutes and 30 seconds, and that node went down. And as I say, you can see with node number 5 in Pub Hero's hands, they've got their tank, they're bringing it to bear on primary. At this point, the reason for node number 4, the primary node, is so hard to get back up is twofold. One is, because the enemy controls node number 5, they can bring both a Manta, which is a fast mover, and a tank to immediately bear on primary. At the same time, because they control node number 3, they can get people, grounders, and even vehicular people into position on the ridge above, and all they need to do is run denial for the rest of the map. My guess is Pub Hero's not going to run denial for the rest of the map. They're going to try to get a build going. They're going to run people through Battlegear's core. They are going to kill and slaughter as many of them in their back court as they can, and get a build going. And sure enough, here we are. We've got North Star and Scoob. They've got a build going. They're linked up. They're at 50%. They're expecting some trouble, and here it comes. Doom Roman is in there, putting some pressure on there, but he's outmatched 3-1. Now it looks like BGE has their Raptor. Black Vendetta is putting some pressure on the tank, collecting the shield, charging up his Raptor and getting back in the game. But it's too late. The core is vulnerable, and they've already got guys in the core putting some pain. They got North Star in there. Mega jumps in the turret. Does a great job of doing some denial on both a Manta and a Raptor. Unbelievable accuracy. Nice work. But the damage is done. Core's down to 74 points. No vehicles to be found. A lot of people hoofing it out to the prime node. In the meantime, our friends the Pub Heroes, they've got a build going. So again, one of the reasons why it's so difficult to get your primary node back is you have overwhelming advantage in firepower, weapons loadout, and you have that darn ridge above node number 3, which allows you to do denial all day long, both on vehicles from the enemy's core and also on their primary. And that node is almost built. Almost got it. Not quite. Battlegear gets in the game. They've got 3 guys putting pressure on the node, which is down to 50%. Here comes Cashel and the Raptor. They're going to duke it out. This is a bar brawl, gentlemen and ladies. Primary node. Nice job, Battlegear Gaming. They've got 4 guys at the primary node. They're taking it down. They're making a move to go attack the node number 5. Doing their best to deny that tank, which they have done. Broodly is here at prime, going to town on some folks. And it looks like somebody's shooting from long distance, and they've brought out the big guns. On the ridge above 3, they now have a tank in play running denial, as well as their Raptor in play. Pub Heroes strongly controlling the prime. Again, the vehicle loadout, total advantage to Pub Heroes. It's going to be virtually impossible to come back from this. One builder, North Star, at prime. He's got a 75% build. He's got Broodly with double damage, working coverage on LG, lighting up some folks. And another headshot. It's going to be very difficult. The game may very well end right here. 2 Manta drivers into the core. They hop out on foot. They're starting to dump on the core, down to 60. Battlegear desperately trying to stay in the game, under 50%. They're hitting the node. It's not going to be enough. Cashel and Mega trying to kill NNY. A much harder task than most people would think. Hog Tape is in there with his Raptor. They're down to 24%. And I think the game ends here. Good games. Both teams. Unbelievable. So a sweep by Pub Heroes. Unbelievable stuff. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have expected it, but again, both are strong teams. Those were good maps for them to play. Even though the game is over, it was an impressive performance by both teams. I look to see many more matches between these two teams. They will be consistently vying for the #1 slot, and EGLN TV will be happy to bring it with you. Even though Broody says he hasn't played in weeks, all evidence to the contrary. There were some great games. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors for allowing us to broadcast these matches. Remember, EGLN TV broadcasts all sorts of different FPS games. Go to egln.net for articles, technical information, forums, broadcast requests, and, if you're a sponsor, sponsorship opportunities. Thanks so much again. My name is the Gunslinger. I'm here with Captain Howdy, who is on camera. Thank you so much to all of you for watching, and please feel free to post your broadcast requests at egln.net. Stay tuned to EGLN TV for more TWL, Cal, CEVO, and all sorts of league action for your favorite game types. Good night, good luck, happy fragging.